Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 2 of the Rowdy Hour podcast. We are joined today by none other than Ijoebruin. Joe, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Rowdy. I'm doing good, man.
All right, for the people who don't know who you are, man, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people and let them know what you're all about.
Let's see. Ijoebruin is you would say, my content creating alias. My name's Ryan. I'm 24, and I am a content creator mainly for Madden Ultimate Team. Hopefully in the future, progress into NCAA. But right now, Madden Ultimate Team content creator. So do the YouTube, do the Twitch, do everything.
I like it, man. I like it. But yeah. So, for those who don't know Joe, he is a Madden creator. One of my very good friends. I'm very glad to have him on the podcast. And he is on the West Coast, so it was a little bit difficult getting this time done, but hey, we got it done, so we're all good, and we are here. And I'm very excited for y'all to get to know about my guy, Ijoebruin. So, I mean, obviously, I think the first question that I need to ask you is, what led you to being a content creator? What led you to this point of becoming a YouTuber, Twitch streamer? What really led up to this decision and trying to make this into a career?
Yeah, so I really was lost out of high school. I had no idea what I was doing. I took a year where I wasn't doing anything after high school, wasn't taking classes or anything. I went to community college. I was taking just some classes to get some credits and stuff. And what actually led to it all, just at least starting wise, I never really thought of it as being like a full time career. Of course, I hoped that. I think everyone hopes they could do stuff like this for their career. But I had a friend, his name's Sawyer. He wanted to start doing YouTube and Twitch for Madden, leading into Madden 22. And he was, and I was helping him make thumbnails. We were coming up with content ideas. We were doing his stream overlays and everything. And I just said, hey, I've always wanted to do this. Like I've been watching YouTube, especially Madden stuff, and for a long time, like a long, long time. So I knew I knew how to do it in the sense, but it was just like getting started. It was like taking that leap it's definitely challenging. And I always say like it's easier to do new stuff with like a really good friend. So I said, hey, I'll like join and do this with you, and we'll do YouTube and Twitch, and we'll kind of like bounce off each other. And yeah, that's really how it started. It started in the beginning with Madden 22. My first upload was the first day of Madden 22, like the EA Access trial. So that's how it all started. I really didn't have uh, anything going for me in real life. Like I had no I don't know, I had no path at all, and I started content creation for fun, for a hobby with my friend, and this is where we're at. So
Now you're only 2 years older than me, which is I think that's why I think that's why we became really good friends. Honestly, was that connection of being younger creators in this space,
yeah,
because I feel like
especially in Madden,
yeah, man,
especially in Madden,
a
there's a
lot
lot of older.
yeah. There's a lot of people, especially just in the content. It feels like everyone's just a whole lot older, more experienced. So when you can find people closer to your age, I feel like you connect a whole lot more with them. So tell me what is it like? I know what my experience has been like, but what has your experience felt like being a younger creator in a space that is ultimately mainly dominated by much older figures? I feel like more than younger people.
It definitely is. It definitely is weird, and I will piggyback off what you said. Most of my content creator friends are like around my age. Yes, I have a few ones that are a little bit older, but for the most part, finding people that kind of have not really started around, but your age and have your same goals, and talking to them, every day really helps because I mean, shoot, I everything that I've done, whether it's thumbnails, YouTube, Twitch, it's all self taught. Like everything I learned, I either go on YouTube or I'm asking someone how to do it, and it's definitely tough, especially in Madden. Like most of the big time content creators have been doing this for 6 7 years, and they're older, and the younger generation just hasn't been able to. We don't have the experience, man. We don't have the experience at all. So having people like you said around your same age with the same goals that are doing kind of the same thing as you, really underrated. Like that's really what helped me launch at least my Twitch platform was becoming friends and literally raiding to go easy, and then I became accustomed with everyone like in his circle, and then I became friends with them, and then eventually like spread out, and I became friends with more people. But especially on Twitch, man, becoming friends with people is actually one of the biggest things I think when it comes to growing.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. That I think like rating into people and just becoming friends like that, getting to know their communities and stuff like that, man. It's if you're not posting on TikTok or whatever like that, you're not posting on other platforms. I do feel like if there's one kind of almost way to kind of grow on Twitch, it is rating into other people, getting into other communities, hanging out with other creators, becoming
Yep.
friends with them. Because as they get to know you, they're like, "Oh, this guy's cool," and then people in their chat
Yeah.
start to see you around more, and then they eventually check you out, and if they like their content, they'll come around. Um,
Madden 2 is a very tight knit community. Like, let's be honest, there's not a ton of streamers in it. Like, you have your pool, and that's kind of it, and everyone kind of just is there. There's not a lot of you don't see a lot of new faces that much recently, I would say. So
yeah,
yeah,
for those who don't know, the Madden is a very niche community out there. If you're not used to it, it's one of your smaller communities, but most sports games are like that. So it's even harder, I feel like, to grow in that type of community, honestly, more than others. I feel like they have a much wider audience. So sticking with this young creator kind of road we're down. Obviously, I've struggled being a younger creator as far as the time that it takes for this, right? And the time that you have to put in. We talked about a lot about that in episode 1 with Finn, the time and dedication that it takes to even make a little bit of progress in this. What has it been like for you having to juggle that amount of time that needs to be spent when obviously most friends and most people our age are going out partying, it's on weekends and events and all this other stuff? Has that been hard for you to balance with your friends as far as not being able to spend as much time with them as maybe they spend with each other?
actually, honestly, the way I am, I'm not the most social. I mean, I'm social, but I'm not one to go out a ton with friends and stuff. Like my idea of going hanging out, like we're gonna go hoop at the park, for the most part. So I'm a very isolated. What's the word I'm thinking of? I'm not like I'm just I'm on my own, and I like that. So content creation is the perfect place for me to be because it's just me and me and me the entire day for the most part. And yes, I I it definitely has been like the biggest thing would be just talking to my friends. I used to hop in calls with them probably every single day from ages 13 to 22. I would be in a call with them every night playing games, just talking sports, talking everything. And now I would definitely say that has been severely limited. And I appreciate it more when I hop in calls with my IRLs and my friends because I know I don't get the opportunity to do it that much. Um, but yeah, the content creation, you are very isolated. That's probably the word I'm looking for. Isolated a lot. It's just you, and luckily for me, that kind of fits me perfectly. So I didn't really lose a lot of like going out with my friends every weekend because I never did that. I'll be honest. I'm very self-dependent, and that's kind of how I've always been. So
Yeah, no, that's interesting. I know some people are very like social, and so it's kind
yeah,
of hard for them to, I feel like content doesn't make you antisocial, but especially with COVID, I feel like a lot of people that started during the COVID era, a lot of us became antisocial, and now that we're kind of exiting out of that time period in everyone's life, it's been definitely I feel like a different transition for a lot of people. They're trying to get back into being social, going out with people,
yeah.
but it really just depends on who you are and like your personality.
Yeah, I was probably not the best person to ask that question because yeah, I'm a
I like your
stay-at-home person.
perspective though, man. I mean,
Yeah,
this is what this is all about. People get to know who you are, what your personality is, like what you're like in real life. That's what this is all about, man. I want people to get to know more about you and who you are as a creator.
yeah,
Um, Speaking of obviously, being a creator and being young, a lot of the questions are centered around this because I
yeah,
think it's just so interesting. Growing up as a kid, I definitely watched a lot of YouTube growing up as a kid. We all had, I feel like you probably share this experience. Like YouTube was a thing when we were growing up, right? Where I feel like a lot of
yeah.
people that are older, they didn't have YouTube as they were growing up coming through school. What were your favorite creators, or did you have any favorite like YouTube creators growing up as a kid when you were in school that maybe led to their inspiration of maybe I want to try out YouTube one day?
Oh yeah, 100%. It's really split between Madden and FIFA, for the most part. Madden, I mean, the my favorite creator back in the day. I liked his like series of just building up his Madden Ultimate Anto to Boss was that guy for me. I loved his kind of storyline videos around Madden Ultimate Team. And then FIFA, a lot of it. You probably aren't gonna know these guys. Back in like FIFA 12, FIFA 13, Air Japes. Path to Power. It was a pretty much no money spent FIFA Ultimate Team, and he'd upload it every single day. And I still would binge watch those series years later, like after they were relevant. Um, I'd say probably Nepenthes, and if you've watched FIFA Ultimate Team, Nepenthes is still a huge creator. I used to watch him a lot back in the day. It was really spread out between. I will say Madden. I didn't watch a lot of Madden YouTube as much. It was more like FIFA and 2K. Cash Nasty, OG in the NBA 2K space used to watch his streams a ton. Los Pollos when he used to actually play games. I used to watch his streams every single night. Um, but yeah, YouTube. It was YouTube is yeah. It shaped everything. I mean, it's one of the reasons why I do content creation aside. I think everyone that's doing content creation can say like that was their dream job. Like if they could make videos, stream their favorite games, like that's the dream. So yeah, YouTube's definitely.
You actually share a lot of creators that kind of gave me the inspiration. The Cash Nasties, the Lows. I mean, that's what I started watching when I was in school. When I exited out of my Minecraft YouTuber phase as a kid.
Yeah.
Um, did you ever have that phase as a kid, like the Minecraft YouTubers?
Not the YouTuber, so would say, oh, who was I used to watch? The Hunger Games ones, man. Like Bayesian Canadian, whatever that dude's name
Yes,
was.
yes, that's who I
I
used to watch, bro. I
I
love
used
those
to watch. That
guys.
was like I never really played my. I don't know about you, but Minecraft. I mean, shoot, we like did we play Minecraft together this past summer? We were in a call when I was playing Minecraft with like some friends or whatever.
Oh, I just hopped
Minecraft,
in and asked you guys what you're doing. You're like, yeah, we're
yeah.
playing Minecraft, and I was like, okay, I like this.
Bro, Minecraft is something I play like once every 3 years for like a 2 to 3 week span, and that's really like all. I've never like sat and grinded. I've always been. Also, I think if you were on PC and you played Minecraft, it was probably a much bigger experience and better experience. Where I was on Xbox, like I was on console. All we would do with my friends over the summer when there was no Madden Ultimate Team or anything, we would just have a world we'd play for 2 3 weeks, and that was it. But yeah, I definitely did watch a little bit of the like those Hunger Game videos back in the day. Hundred
Now,
percent.
obviously, earlier I got you to introduce yourself, and you said you're a Madden creator. Explaining to people kind of what you do. What is a market person for those watching this that don't know anything about Madden or what this market thing is that I'm referring to you about? Kind of explain to those that are watching like what the market is and what you do and exactly what your niche is within Madden.
So Madden Ultimate Team, of course, is a card collecting game. You collect cards, you then use those cards to play online games. And to get those cards, you need what we call coins. And there is in real like as in real life like stock market, not really, but there's a market for Madden Ultimate Team where you buy and sell those players that you then could use for your team. You could use them to get other cards for your team. There's also like a pack market where you can get cards through there. And so my niche is around the market and helping people make coins so that they could get the players that they want. It's Madden Ultimate Team, in my opinion. It's like there's two distinct phases. Like you either are gameplay, where you're an entertainer, whether you're good, you're entertaining, you're playing the gameplay aspect of Madden, which is football, or you are on the menu side, which is the squad building, opening packs, working the market, which is kind of my specialty in terms of like making coins, helping other people make coins. So hopefully it's a thing that's as simple as I can explain it. But I like to think of myself as like a teacher almost in the Madden Ultimate Team aspect of things, where I'm helping people and I'm teaching people how to build their Ultimate Team, how to make coins, and what the best players are, stuff like that. So.
So what led you into becoming like the guy that kind of works the stock market of Madden, I guess per se?
So in Madden 22, when I started out just doing no money spent episodes in sense of I would upload once a day and I would just describe or detail what I did during that day to upgrade my team. It wasn't really even about market, it was more like gameplay and what I did to upgrade my team. And like a month or two went down the line of the no money spent, and it got to a point where I was making significant coins from doing smallish things on the market, and that's kind of what got traction on my YouTube. The first video that really got like 200, 300 views, which at the time was like really good for me, I was only getting 50 to 100, was a video detailing how to make coins during the Most Feared promo. And I kind of just, after that one video got, triple, quadruple the normal amount of views, I kind of stuck with that and started just making, instead of just no money spent videos where I would talk about my day and what I did, I would make actual videos just talking about how to make coins and what I'm looking at on the market. Madden Ultimate Team is a very, very hard community to just start right now and build a platform. It just is. It's definitely a dying, it's not a dying game, but it's just really hard to stand out. Everyone's doing the same things. It's everyone's, it's gameplay, it's packs. Like, it's hard to stand out. And when I started doing the market stuff, I started accumulating coins. I've said to myself, like, how am I going to stand out? And that way was getting more coins than every single person. Because if someone clicks on your YouTube video or clicks on your Twitch stream and your title is 50 million coins, that's not normal for most players. Like, it's gonna make you stand out. Like, I think in Madden Ultimate Team, if you were to start right now, there's like 4 distinct ways that you could really make it. Like, you either got to be one of the best in the world gameplay wise. You'd be a pro essentially, like K-Mac, Henry, those type of guys where you're really, really good for the YouTube side of things, or you're just a really good competitive player. You have to be highly entertaining combined with great editing, I would say. Especially, I'm not talking, of course, MMG is like the peak of that, but if you want to start right now, like right now, and of course it's flooded with gameplay content, you really have to stand out, entertaining, funny. Your videos have to be great, like really good edited. I would say the third one is informational. Definitely a little bit hard. Xerxes runs that for the most part. I probably fall into that as well a little bit more on YouTube. And like my thing would be like, I fall into the category of I'm the best at what I do, and that being the market. Like, it's really hard to, I would say, start right now in Madden Ultimate Team, you would say, and really make it. And so that's kind of where I fell into. It's what at least I thought. So.
Yeah, I feel like it's tough right now in content creation just to break out in general, and anything,
You
especially
have to
like
stand out, like
eh,
really stand out, and that's what I
even
thought.
in a smaller like niche, I feel like it's even harder at that point because the viewer base is so smaller than like if you're a Call of Duty person, it's gonna be harder for you to get the viewers starting out, right? But I feel like you have a higher ceiling, I feel like, in a game like that than you would in a
Yeah,
smaller game like Madden. I think
yeah. Madden,
Madden, you can
you can
reach like
definitely
I
get
feel like
started.
you can reach the ceiling quicker, but
Yes,
you have a
100%.
much lower ceiling than a game like if you go to Call of Duty or you go to like a Fortnite or something like that. I feel like your ceiling and potential is much higher because you have such a larger viewer base to pull from with your content. I
100%.
just I think it just takes longer too as well though. So it's kind of you got to pick and choose
Yeah.
which route you want to go.
When you're going into Madden, you have to kind of understand, hey, you're never gonna be this big time content creation star. You kind of know your role, and once you hit it, and you're kind of accepting of it. At least that's the way I see it for the most part. Especially with my niche, I'm kind of okay with that. Like, for me, like, what I will never be able to do, like, content creation, if I don't love what I'm creating. And I love Madden Ultimate Team. I love the NFL. I love the market. Like, it allows me to upload, the same stuff, stream, and just sit on the menus for hours at a time because I enjoy it. But I do understand that, hey, I'm really never going to reach, levels that other content creators from other games can hit. Like, it's just not in the possibilities. Now, maybe NCAA football, that maybe gets that ceiling a little bit higher because that'll probably be a huge platform for new eyes and stuff. But I 100% agree with you, which saying like Madden, the floor, you definitely probably have a raised floor. Like, if you start out and like you're, let's say you're the best Mutt Squads player, like you'll probably be able to build a decent community off of rip, but definitely the ceiling aspect is way lower on games Fortnite, Call of Duty, Valorant, stuff like that.
I feel like that's where the variety thing comes in. Is once you build that foundation, I think if you have the personality, that it's very good that you try to branch out to other things, so that way you can continue to grow, not stay stagnant. I think that's the end goal for a lot of people is variety. But you
Yeah,
have to just be smart when you try that and when you attack it in your plan of attack when doing that with the foundation that you've built. And I think that's the end goal for a lot of people. I know some people are very happy with they build their community within a certain game and they're fine staying within that certain game. But I know a lot of people really is they want to just start with a game, build their community, and then they want to branch out to other things that they want to play. Once you've built that foundation of people that you know is going to support you, no matter the content that you put out, I think that's the end goal for I feel like majority of creators.
yeah. Even though I say like I love Madden Ultimate Team and I would be okay with staying at like being able to fire up a FIFA stream or a 2K stream or a Call of Duty stream and have it, 75% of my viewership stay Um, you definitely like the yeah, I think you would say variety, even though you might not think about it, variety's definitely the goal for all streamers. You would say 100%.
Now we talked about your market skills and you explained that earlier. I want to ask you this, and I thought this would be interesting. If let's say you weren't a Madden streamer and you didn't do this market thing, do you feel like your market skills could make you like really good in like either the finance or like stock market, like if you were like a broker or something like that? Do you think that you could apply the skills that you've learned, learning how to use and adapt and not manipulate, but
Yeah.
adjust to this meta market? Do you think it would apply to like the finance world, and do you think you could have success with it?
Honestly, no. I think the only reason it works in Madden is like my love for the Madden market and helping people make coins is what kind of drives me to log on every single day and spend an hour or two just looking at stuff. Um, whereas if it I've been asked this a ton, like, yo, you should just do stocks, like you'll make way more money. It's like I don't think it the Madden Ultimate Team market really is not that complicated. It is very, very simple. Um, and yeah, I don't think it would translate as easy as people like might think it. I really don't think it would. Um, I really and also like like the market, my market experience, like it's years. Like I've been playing Madden Ultimate Team since Madden 12. Like this is my what 13th, 12th or 13th year on Madden Ultimate Team, and I would say I like I have an understanding of what's going on in the market for all 12 or 13 of those years. So there's a lot of experience and stuff that just you can't teach, I would say. And yeah, if it went, I don't think it would translate at all, actually.
Now you mentioned earlier about how like you felt lost after high school, and that's kind of what led you down this route. Did you go to
Yeah.
college at all after high school?
Nah, I just went to I took a year off and then I went to community college, but I didn't even go. I was just taking online classes. I took online classes for like a year and a half, and then I stopped. So I was taking classes. Madden 22 hit. I took the fall off. So what I did was I took classes in the winter and I took a ton of classes in the summer because I told my parents I'm gonna take the fall off. Because I wanted to kind of try to make it a thing, and then I would take classes again in the winter. And I did take classes again in the winter when I was doing the Madden 22 thing, and then think I took classes in the winter, the spring, and then going into the summer. I took like one or two more classes, but then going to Madden 23, I kind of just stopped. I told my parents, my dad's been really like understanding of what I'm doing. He definitely keeps track of how much money I'm making because that's really like for the most part what he cares about and stuff like making a living out of it. And like I went full time, you would say at the start of Madden 23. For the most part, so I wasn't taking any. I was like no distractions, nothing. It was just full time streaming, full time YouTube, full time everything.
Now you mentioned like your dad obviously like being understanding and kind of like supportive of the whole thing. Uh, do you feel like do you feel like a lot of pressure or like judgment from anybody like in your personal life that maybe doesn't understand it? Because I know that's a big thing with a lot of people, right? Is when they go into content creation, a lot of people in their family either don't understand it or they're very judgmental of it, and I think that's a big struggle for a lot of creators.
Yeah.
And why they kind of don't share it with a lot of people they know in real life, or they don't share it with family members. Do you feel like you've dealt with that at all, or do you feel like it's been kind of more of just more supportive from people that you know?
Not that much because I kept it a secret until I became sort of relevant, I would say. I pretty much did it by myself in my room, didn't tell my parents. I had IRLs that knew it, but that was about it. Until like I told my dad like the day or two after Christmas in Madden 22. It was when I got monetized on YouTube. I told him about it. And so like I pretty much eliminated the I still wasn't like I was not making barely any money pretty much up until Madden 23. But I pretty much eliminated that thing of that period where you're just making videos and you're really losing money, like paying for editing services and all that sort of thing. So, like the first time I told my dad, I go, "Hey, I'm making money." So it wasn't like as, and I haven't really ever worked a job too, like where I was making money before that. So this was like the first actual money I was earning. Like I was just my job. My parents just said, "Hey, go to school. Don't worry about money." So it was like the first time I was actually earning a little bit of money. So my parents, no matter what, were like, my dad was like, okay, like I'm proud of you and stuff like that. So I really haven't able. And now I'll be honest. Now I like if people like ask me like what I do, I'm kind of like proud to say like, yo, I do this. Like I'm a content creator and I make enough. So uh, yeah, I never really had to deal with that much. Definitely hit it. Like I didn't tell my mom or dad or anybody for like what is it, 3 months or whatever it was, or 3 or 4 months. But yeah, I never really dealt with the like I wouldn't really say embarrassment, just not really telling people that much.
Yeah, I've actually that's a unique answer. Honestly, I know some people kind of keep it a secret, but I know it's also kind of a hard thing to do. I feel like kind of keep it from
Yeah.
people.
I mean,
Um,
yeah, like I was in my room every day, literally making a video every single day. And so my dad was always like wondering what I was doing. Like he did think there was a time he thought like it was like 2 months into it, he thought I was doing absolutely nothing with my life. Like I was just sitting there watching Netflix from when I woke up from when I went to sleep, and I was just like, dude, just chill for a little bit. And then I finally told him.
Obviously, you talked about that and the time that you spent in your room making just videos after videos after videos, and not really
Yes.
making a lot of money. Um,
Yeah.
it takes a lot of time to be able to get some sort of progress in this content thing. What was like your biggest motivation? I feel like, or biggest factor in keeping you dedicated to it, because it's not an easy thing to stay motivated making videos when obviously you're not making any money. Maybe the views aren't there, and I feel like that's something that a lot of creators struggle with. What's one tip that you would give to people out there that are struggling to keep on going when maybe the views aren't there, or the success just hasn't came yet, and it just feels like they're spinning their wheels and nothing's really going right?
I mean, I don't really know if I have like a tip you would say. It was just mentally the way that I saw it was I got a taste of like what content creation was, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the community I was building, and I still, wake up with this mentality. It's like I'm not doing anything else. I'm doing content creation. I'm not going back to community college. I'm not gonna work a normal job. Like I'm doing this, or I'm not doing anything. Like straight up, like I'm doing this as my career, and yeah, it definitely might take a little bit to get going, but if you put the time in, you put the right. See, I don't know how to say this. Like you could put time in, but if you're not focused on the right things, I would say, um, I wouldn't really say it's wasted time, but you really got to be focused on the right things for building a building community. I think the most important thing with content creation is building community, for the most part, 100% on especially on YouTube and Twitch, applying to every YouTube comment. But yeah, I I don't really have a tip to say, like, there's not like a, "Oh, like, do this," like, "Oh, make your thumbnails better." You're instantly gonna I just say, like, mentally when I was starting out, I just thought to myself, like, "I'm not doing anything else." Like, I straight up, like, I'm gonna make this a thing no matter what, and yeah, that's how I thought, and that's what I still think when I wake up every day.
That's cool to hear, and I'm glad to hear that you still got that motivation, because I know it's very easy once you have that success, and that little bit of foundation found. I know it's easy a lot of times. I've seen it happen with a lot of people where they kind of just get not necessarily lazy, but they get complacent and they stop just trying to improve, and then that's when just I feel like it kind of starts to go down a slope, and they kind of start to lose like a grip on the whole thing, and that's when a lot of times you see
Yeah.
people lose
I
the
I mean
success they work so hard for.
I mean, I'm dealing with that a little bit, I would say, like in the past year or so with the complacency. And part of it is just like the niche that I'm in. Like, there's not a ton of room to grow. And I wouldn't really say I've accepted, especially like on YouTube. Like, I'm not really gonna, make the viral videos to get hundreds of thousands of views. But it's very day in and day out. I mean, one of the first things I was told from, I think it was actually from Jock, the YouTuber. I don't know if you know him. He told me pretty much like you can't take breaks. Like if you take a month off, you take a 2 months off of content creation. Like dog, they will. It will take you another month or two to regain where you were when you were uploading every day. So, I guess the good thing about it is like again, I'm not going out that much. I don't have a lot going on with my life in general. So, the consistency in the schedule, like I'm maintaining like a good schedule. Like I get up every day. I have my video to make. I have my Discord update, stream, and so you would say. But the complacency thing, it's definitely been hitting me a little bit, and I wouldn't really say I've like been lazy, so you would say, but it's just the complacency. It's like I've stopped a little bit of the especially on YouTube for the most part, like the growing aspect of it. I've kind of been a little bit complacent with that. But yeah, that's probably one of the biggest struggles with content creation is complacency and like laziness, you would say. But like keep going forward and stuff. So
So with that saying, you mentioned your Discord. Obviously, when we were talking about building a community, I feel like you did a really good job of using your Discord to build your community on top of your YouTube stuff and being able to transfer over to Twitch. And I think that's the
yeah,
hardest thing for a lot of creators and people wanting to be streamers is being able to bring those people over to Twitch and building that community, and just being able to bring people from other platforms. And I feel like you've done a very good job at bringing people from Discord to Twitch, kind of be able to build a little community over there. What do you think was one key to that success of building the Discord, or and on top of that, what is like maybe one tip that you could give someone who's trying to build a Discord community, and trying to just build a place for their community to hang out when obviously you're not online or there's not a video out for them to watch.
So yeah, I talked about it earlier. Like I think building community when you're first starting out is the biggest thing. When it comes to YouTube, reply, interact with every single comment you get under YouTube. Every single comment. Like try to spark a conversation. You really have to build that relationship with the viewer. And I made sure I that was like one of the first things I learned back when I first started 22. It's like interact with every single comment that you get on YouTube because that will build a relationship. And then via Twitter, anytime someone now I will say I've been a little bit Hollywood on YouTube. I mean not on YouTube on Twitter. Like I'm not replying to everything, every reply now anymore. But when I was first starting out on Twitter, it's like I'm replying to, and I still do this. I reply to every single DM. If someone adds me in my Discord, I created my Discord I think it was in October of Madden 22 is when I created it. And I still do this. If you at me and ask me a question, I will answer it. And I know a lot of content creators don't do that, but I think it's what's really helped me build my community. It's a key to it. And I still probably be doing it for a long time. It's I reply to everything, or I try to. That is still so. That would be the number one tip I would say for building community. If it's YouTube, you're replying to every single comment, interacting with every single comment. On Discord, make it known that if someone asks you a question, like they're okay to ping you and you answer. You spark conversation there. And then Twitch, you would say, your chat is your priority. It's not you. It's not your gameplay. It's chat. Chat is your priority. They talking in chat, you are answering them. Like that. That should be your number one priority, no matter what. So that was probably the thing that helped me build my community. Probably, I would say.
I
Glad
like that.
you asked that question.
Yeah, I like that. Like answering everyone, like trying to be interactive with community because
Yes.
there's relationships you build with people. Where I know you talked about earlier, where like if you take a month or 2 months off, if you're a daily uploader, like that definitely is going to hurt you, and it takes a while to build that back. But if you're able to build, I feel like if you're able to build that solid foundation with people, like I feel like you have built in that relationship with someone. Um, Not necessarily like you're immune to that, but I do feel like you'll take less of a blow necessarily. Um,
Yeah.
that because you've built that connection with people and they support you for you. And I've seen that with a lot of creators actually, where they've built such a strong community with the people that watch their content and stuff like that. I've seen some people take 2 3 months off, dude. They come back and they're right back at the numbers that were before, and it's something like that like blows my mind sometimes because you'll see other people do it and they lose everybody. But
Yeah.
that's the difference, I guess, between someone who takes the time to build that relationship with the people that support them, and maybe the ones who kind of just it's not one of their focuses. They're like, hey, you support me, thank you, but they don't really take that necessary time that maybe they should to build that necessary relationship with the viewers that support them no matter what they're doing.
Yeah, I would say that like the taking a break being a negative impact, that's more for when you're starting out. Like when you're first building your community, you're building your platform, you have to kind of understand that it's going to be a long process. You're not going to make money. You're not going to have the views right away. And you just got to be consistent and be patient. And yeah, if you take that, like if I took a break, let's say I started in would be August, I took a break in October, I probably wouldn't be here, to be honest. So yeah, when you're starting out building your platform, it's definitely tough. But yeah, building community really really important, really really important.
Yeah, it's very important. I think is the biggest aspect of this content creation. Because when things go south, man, you got a strong community to be there to pick you up. It's I think it's one of the best things about content creation, and one of the biggest blessings about it is being
Yeah,
able to kind of build like a second family, pretty much. I feel like, like a
100%.
supportive group who is there no matter what happens. They're there to support you. They're there to pick you up on the rough days that you might have, and they're just able to be like, hey, like let's go get them. We've got your back. We're here to support you, and I think that's one of the best things about content creation, and at least for me, that's one of my motivating factors is being able to build that. because I feel like, at least for me, growing up, content creators was one of the biggest aspects of my life, honestly. Come home from school, have a bad day, your favorite creators just uploaded a video, you're so excited to watch them. And then, whatever might have happened at school or whatever it may have been, you might have had a bad day. Your creator's video cheers you up, and now you're like back up in high spirits. So at least that was one of my motivating factors when the content creation, wanting to build a community with people, just being able to
Yeah.
repay that.
I mean, dude, Twitch, like I mentioned earlier, like the thing that I've lost the most in concentration is hopping in an Xbox party with my friends, like every single night for 10 straight years. For me, streaming has replaced that. Like I hop on and the people in the chat, like those are my boys. Like I hop on every day and I talk to like I look forward to talking to them and talking about what's going on. And I in real life, in the NFL, in Madden, it's in their lives, in my life. So yeah, the community aspect is the best part about content creation, at least from my perspective. It is the best part, building that community that you fire up and instantly there's the 15-20 people that are right there from the jump saying they're ready for you to stream. So completely agree with you on that.
Now if content creation wouldn't have worked out, and I know you said like there was no other
Yeah.
option for you, but like let's just say in some other dimension, right? Some other world didn't work out. What career, if you had to have picked one, would you have possibly tried to go into?
I was probably going to be a teacher. I think that's where I was going to. My family is a long list of teachers. My brother actually is starting to become a teacher. I think he's a substitute now. He's 2 years younger than me, and he's like started that path. My grandpa, from my dad's side, was a teacher. My uncle was a teacher, and then my mom and my grandma work for the school district. So I probably would have been a teacher to some degree. And it's weird because like now I really would consider myself like a Madden Ultimate Team teacher to a degree. But yeah, I was probably going down the education path, if I was going to do anything.
Now, with you doing the market things and you being kind of a teacher on that, do you feel like you would have been like a finance teacher or something, or do you feel like you would have taught something else?
No, I think I mean, I love history. History was like my thing. I probably would have been a history teacher more than anything. So, I mean, to be honest, teaching nowadays, you don't really get to choose that much of what you do. It's kind of, especially in elementary, middle, high school, it's kind of like what they have available is what you're teaching and stuff, and you'll change, curriculum and stuff like that. So, but yeah, teaching probably would have been the pathway that I went down.
That's interesting. I think it's cool how you kind of ended up still going that route technically with the thing that with the stuff you do in Madden. I think
Yeah.
that's kind of cool. You hear a lot
That's how
about.
I tell people. Like when people ask me, like, "Oh, I'm like," when you say content creator, like, "Oh, what do you do?" It's like think of myself as like for Madden, like I'm a teacher of this game. That's the really how I explain it to people and makes it easy to understand.
Now with content creation, I know a lot of people a lot of times are like it's a grind. And there's a lot of I know a lot of people kind of talk about the stuff they don't like in content creation, because let's be
Mm.
honest here, content creation is not perfect. People, you're not going to enjoy every aspect of it. That
Yeah.
is that is 100% a fact. But what is like one part of, I guess, necessarily the grind that you kind of enjoy of content creation outside of like just getting on stream and talking to people? Like what's one part of like the grind of content creation that you really do enjoy doing? Maybe some other people might not enjoy that aspect of it.
Thumbnails. I actually really enjoy making thumbnails, and so a lot of people will export it out for other people to make their thumbnails. I really enjoy making thumbnails. That would be my like my sneaky thing that I enjoy about content creation, where other people probably don't. Thumbnails is a big one that I really enjoy. Getting the perfect thumbnail, the coloring and everything. It's like art, you would say. And yeah, thumbnails would be the answer to that, 100%.
Were you talking about like thumbnails really are like art? Were you like a big art kid at all? Like were you into art at all growing up as a kid?
Yeah.
Okay.
I used to draw. I used to draw a lot when I was younger. I have not drawn something in 10 years, but ages probably 6 to 12, I was a big drawer. I used to draw football players and stuff, and it was a really big hobby of mine back then. So,
Talked about like how you like history, right? And you're talking about art. Did you enjoy like when they would teach about like the old like art paintings and stuff like that in history? Did you enjoy that all because you were an art kid, or did it kind of just not really mesh for you exactly?
I mean, my art phase like had definitely phased out probably by the time it really art was like considered in the in school and stuff. History, like I'm a big nut for like World War I, World War II. Civil War and all that sort of thing. That's where I fall. Like I love history. I always have, and I find myself watching the documentaries on YouTube an hour long of old wars. It's like that used to be like what we talked about. And they taught us in school that we thought was boring. But yeah, art thing probably not as much. No.
I like the art thing though. I did not see you really as an art person as long as I've known you,
I
so
mean, I
that's kind of
have
cool.
I actually still, if I look to my left on my closet, I have some drawings from like I have a Larry Fitzgerald, I have a Calvin Johnson from Georgia Tech that I drew fucking way back. Sorry for swearing. Way back, probably like 2007, 2008, probably when he was like a rookie or something. So
Okay.
yeah,
All right. I like that. I like the art thing. That's super cool. See, that's what this podcast is all about, people. You get to
yeah.
learn stuff that maybe you didn't know about somebody. I like that. That's cool. I'm glad to know you're in art, man. Might have to get you to draw us up
I'm
something
not
one
I'm
time.
not that good. Like I know W would ever be drawn in his thing, but I have not done anything in like 10 years. But yeah, I used to be all into that sort of thing. And now thumbnails, I would say, have definitely replaced that. So I take pride in I make my thumbnails, and I think they look very good.
Yeah,
So
thumbnails is one thing like I definitely struggle with. I don't know what it is. I'm very good at video editing, but
yeah,
something about thumbnails, I feel like it's just, I feel like it's just hard to put all the pieces together almost.
yeah.
Especially like if you struggle with that. I know a lot of people do not like doing thumbnails at all, and that's why like I feel like that's more paid for than I feel like video editing, because like video editing, I, what do you think is paid? Like, what do you think more people pay for, thumbnails or like video editing?
Well, I mean, it probably is thumbnails. It probably is. Now, editing for me, I really liked editing when I first started out on YouTube. Now I don't really like editing that much, mainly because the editing style that I do for my videos is like information. There's not like a storyline behind it. I will say editing whenever there's a story behind stuff is definitely a lot more entertaining from my end. Yeah, I mean, people probably outsource thumbnails more than anything, I would say. Like
Yeah,
you can, at least in Madden, you can get away with not the best editing, but thumbnails are king. Like they're everything. I think everyone knows in content creation, thumbnails are everything when it comes to a video. So
yeah, I heard one thing from someone once. It was like you can have the world's best like edited video, but like if the thumbnail doesn't bring people in, then it's not going to get any views.
yep,
Which is,
yep,
I
yep,
think
yep.
that's one thing takes a lot of people a long time to learn, is that you need a thumbnail to bring people in, and then you need like that first 5 to 6 seconds to really draw people in for that
YouTube's a
video.
skill. Don't let anybody tell you it's not. YouTube is a skill. Editing, the proper editing, the first 30 seconds, as you mentioned, first 30 seconds are vital. Watch duration, everything like that. Thumbnails. YouTube's a skill, and every summer, in between, like when Madden kind of dies down, I do my research. You would say on thumbnails and everything, and what's the meta in YouTube. You would say like it really is a skill. People having videos that blow up is not luck. It is planned. It is you make. I will say this: like I have videos on my channel. Like most of my videos that I make, are not designed to blow up and stuff. But I have videos that have done a lot of views, and those videos, I will tell you, are purposely designed to do really, really good in the algorithm. But the content that I make, in terms of the market stuff, it's I would describe it as like weather. Like weather is only relevant for that day, and so market stuff is only relevant for like the first 48 hours the video's uploaded. So then, of course, I can't get views after the first 48 hours. But yeah, YouTube's a skill. It's not luck when
Um,
you get a lot of views.
Now obviously with you talking about how like the ceiling's not very high in Madden, you're not gonna get like Ninja or
Yep.
and the Tatman views. Let's just say that wasn't a factor, right? And you could get as many views as you wanted, and none of that was a factor. What is it? Who name one creator that you would collab with? You can pick any creator in the world to collab with on a stream or even a YouTube video. And it's not gonna matter because you know you use a Madden, whatever. None of that matters. You can collab with any person that you want. One creator. Who would it be?
Man, I really don't know. I really don't know. If I was doing any video, Chris Move, honestly, Chris Move. I mean that's the OG. I think I used to love his videos. The storytelling of his videos back in the day with his mic careers were the best. I'd probably say Chris Move. That's a legend right there. I'd probably
What
say.
what type of video are we doing? Like what we doing like a versus in
I
like
don't see.
Madden or like
I,
2K, or are we doing like a you gonna 1v1 quick snipe him in COD?
I don't even know. I really don't. It's just the person. I mean, he's a legend in the content creation community. I think everyone watched him growing up. You would say that's a good. I really don't know the answer to that question. I really, really don't know the answer to that question. Like, I have no clue the type of video I'd make with Chris Move at all. But I know I'd want to make it. If I'd ever want to have a collab with him.
Now, do you feel like you're ever going to try to venture out of Madden, or you feel like you're just always going to stick like in the sports niche with like Madden and like NCAA, or do you feel like maybe at any point you'll ever try to like do a second YouTube channel and try to venture out to something else that maybe you've had your eye on for a while?
I mean, it's always probably going to stay in the sports niche. In terms of a gamer that I am, like I play sports games and Call of Duty, and that's pretty much it. So for the most part, I kind of just see myself staying with Madden. And NCAA is kind of that second game you would say that I know for a fact I am going to get into and make content around that. So, but yeah, I don't want to say I'm limiting myself as a content creator, but I kind of understand and know like this is my niche, this is where I belong, this is what I love. I know you. I thought you were gonna ask the question like if there was any game or content that I can make no matter and I would get the same views no matter what would you make? I would make what I'm making right now. I mean, there's a reason on I have, like I said, I have videos on my YouTube. Like I don't want to say like from a cocky standpoint. Like I know there are videos I can make that will get 10 times the views that I am getting on YouTube, but I just don't enjoy making those style of videos. Like you would say, franchise and YouTube on Madden is a lot bigger on YouTube. I really enjoy making my market content, and I'm kind of cool with that. So
Now, honestly, that's actually very interesting. You say that about that you would probably still make content you make now because
yeah,
I asked Finn that on episode 1, and he almost replied. He's like, "It would have to be Madden." Like he said that too. He
yeah.
was like, "Views, money, none of that matters." He's like, honestly, he's like the most amount of time that I've probably put into a game is Madden. It would probably be that. But then he ended up kind of talking about how like he would do like RPG genre if he could, because he really enjoys that. So that's kind of unique that both of you guys have said that you'd probably just honestly most likely stick with what you do now game wise. Uh,
I think for the most part, because like when I started, like I went into content creation with the idea that I wasn't gonna do this. I wasn't making any money. I did this because I played Madden and I wanted to try content creation. So now that it's happened and I have a platform, it's like, dude, I love what I'm doing. It's the dream. So yeah, I'd be doing Madden.
I like that though. I like that though. I just know some people obviously they use a game and they kind of get tired of it almost. You see that as a big thing right now. I feel like in a lot of communities is a lot of people are kind of shifting their whole channels because they grind just burnt they get
Yeah,
burnt out, right? You see it with a lot of COD creators right now, especially a lot of like first person shooter people as well. Like they've kind of got burnt out on COD or of games like Valorant. And they're kind of like transitioning to like something different. And like I said, we talked about it earlier. It's not an easy thing to do at all. Even if you do have the viewership and the base to support you, it's not an easy thing to do, man. Like if you just like, oh, I'm just gonna stream this, that is a very, very hard thing to do no matter who you are. And it's very, if you can pull it off, then like congrats to you, but it's not easy by any means, even if you do have that foundation.
one thing I've done to like make sure I don't get burnt. I really don't play a lot of Madden off stream. I really focus on I kind of do what I have to do in the market, 1 to 2 hours a day, update my Discord. If I have a YouTube video to make, I have a YouTube video to make. If I stream, like when I stream, like that's all the Madden I play for the day. After that, I am off. And I know some people will say like like damn, why don't you stream, 12 hours a day like you're making money playing. It's like, dude, you got to understand, especially Madden, it's like it's a very repetitive um thing and I really focused, especially back in Madden, because Madden 22, I mean, I would upload once, twice, 3 times a day, and I'd be playing Madden, sorry, a lot during Madden 22, and I did get burnt out. I got burnt out pretty much around November, going into December. I got a little burnt out of Madden. I got a little burnt out of content creation. I was kind of thinking of stopping and taking a break. And I kind of said to myself, like, it's funny. That was actually how I started investing in the Madden market because it was a time saver. The whole reason I started investing to make Madden Ultimate Team coins was it was a time saver. I didn't want to sit there and buy cards for 5 hours a day. I didn't want to do sets. Investing was the way I could save time. And that's now led, of course, years down the line. I really focus on not getting burnt out from Madden Ultimate Team. And that is like when I stream, that's the Madden I play for the day. Like maybe I'll be on an hour before that, but streaming, and then after that I'm off and I'm done for the most part.
Yeah, I feel like that's probably the biggest thing to fight in content creation is getting burnt out. And what is the easy like what's the easiest way to kind of balance that? Because I've definitely got burnt out plenty of times, and then you hear people talk about it all the time. A lot of people, I think Tifu, I mean, he stopped. Like he was just like, I'm burnt, and he's been doing this for years, man. And he's got unbelievable success. So I mean, when you see someone at that size get burnt out, it just shows you that it doesn't matter the size you are, the success you have, it can happen to anybody in this space, and you really just have to be careful. You need to just you got to have that balance. I mean, you got to have that
Yeah,
healthy
you really
balance.
you have to focus on it. You really have to focus on the balance of the gaming and then just literally staying off the console. Like seriously, just take a step away, man, because it will. I mean, I'm king. Before I did concentration, I would always stop playing Madden a month into the game because I would get burnt out. I would play Madden for the first month, and I'd take a break, and I'd play during December because I'd always get burnt out. I'd play a ton, a ton, a ton. I will say, like, the one thing about concentration, the thing that's really good, and it's made me like this is from Madden 15 to Madden 21, I never played the game for more than a month at a time. And then starting Madden 22, Madden 23, I've played year round. So been a huge change on Madden Ultimate Team of how much I'm playing. And content creation definitely it's motivated me a ton in growing that community. It's almost like it's addicting to see growth as a content creator. You could probably attest to that. When you see, when you have that stream that's popping, it makes you want to stream even more. But yeah, finding that balance and not getting burnt out it's scary. It really is scary because you might never recover if you get burnt out of something. So I do try to focus on not getting burnt out.
Yeah, I'm glad you found that balance because it's not an easy thing for anybody to find, and a lot of people get caught up in the grind. And you hear a lot of people talk about, you don't need to sleep. I see a lot of stuff sometimes where it's like you don't need to you don't need this, you don't need to sleep, you don't need to do this to have success. And I feel like sometimes like I see stuff like that, and I'm like, I don't think that should really be the message that we push. Content creation is a grind, but you can do it a healthy way to where you can keep your mentals in check. You can keep your health, physical health. Because you see a lot of people too, like I see a lot of people talk about it all the time. Like they'll get to the success and they'll be like, like they're like my physical health is, it's terrible. My mental health is not there, and then you just see them like disappear after all this hard work they put in because they just didn't take the proper steps to take care of themselves in the long
Yeah,
journey that it is. And I think that's the biggest key of anything as well. I mean, you can have the content and stuff like that, but if you're not taking care of yourself, it's not gonna matter. You need to have that balance, and you need to take care of yourself, or all the success once you get there isn't gonna matter if your health isn't there. Mentally, you're just you know going through it. It's not gonna matter. It's cliche, but like people say, money doesn't buy happiness. Um, and I feel like that kind of applies in a little bit to content creation as well. People are like, well, if I get all this money and everything like that, everything's going to be perfect. And a lot of times you see people get to that top of the mountain and it's not what they thought it would be, right? They
yeah,
get there and it's not what they wanted, or maybe they thought they wanted. And then it's like they look at it and they're like, I did all this, but like, what is it worth, right? Like I did it and it's not what I wanted it necessarily. So, next thing I want to ask you, man, is obviously, we talked about how you're younger in this space, um, and a lot of people talk about how, they're only going to do content creation for so long, and they have a timetable of when they're going to stop this necessarily. A lot of people talk about it like, oh, I'm going to stop at this age, and Ludwig has talked about this where he said, he has like a 5 like 10 year plan or something like that, and he's just going to stop content creation. Do you have a plan like that at all for content creation, or are you just going to go till the wheels fall off and like you physically just can't do it anymore? Like you're sitting in a wheelchair still trying to be out here making YouTube videos and run the Discord, and you're in the retirement home.
I'm signed for life, man. I've signed the Mega Max, the 25, the who's the player on the Mets? Bobby, I'm forgetting his last name. 25-year contract. Like I'm here. I know I'm gonna be here for the next 20 years. So yeah, I haven't really. I mean, Madden Ultimate. I'm not really gonna say like man, if I could stop in 5 years and have the money, for the rest of it be set. Like maybe I would, but Madden Ultimate Team isn't really in that category. So nah, I'm here for the long haul. I do not have a plan or a age when I'm going to stop. I'm just getting started, man. Like I'm doing this for 2.5 years. Like I feel like I'm still fresh.
Still feel like
So,
you're in your prime. I like to hear that. You still
so
feel
I'm,
like you're
I'm
in
not
prime.
even. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Probably another year or two. But yeah, I'm motivated. So
I like to hear that you're just gonna keep on going, man. I like that. I know some people have plans, obviously, and then others
yeah.
are just like you ask them, they're like, "Listen, man, I'm gonna do this until I literally can't do it anymore."
I mean, dude, it's my dream job. Like, if you asked me 10 years ago, what if I could choose anything, what would it be? Like, yeah, NBA player, football player, right? But it'd be like literally Madden Ultimate Team content creator. That would be my dream job, and I'm doing it. So, what else? What else am I gonna do? What am I gonna stop and do that's gonna make me happier? Like, I still wake up every day being like, damn, I really do get to do this. I really get to go make videos on Madden Ultimate Team, and it's a blast.
Yeah, man, dude. Like I said, people that are able to do this and they talk about it and they're like, "I want to do it," and then they get to that point. It's very cool to see because you get to see all that hard work pay off, right? And I think that's one of the unique things is just being able to see that hard work pay off. What was one tip when you were starting out? What was the biggest tip that you got from someone? Like as far as like I know you mentioned Jock told you to not stop, but what was like a tip that you got from someone, whether, it was someone smaller or big, it doesn't matter. But like what do you think the biggest tip was you from a creator as far as when you started out early on that really helped you get to the point that you are now?
I mean, it definitely goes back to that community thing. I think it was Swift. I remember watching, or Swift talked about it in some video. Maybe it was a tweet, but seriously, it was interacting with every single YouTube comment. As the first thing I learned about YouTube, and I'm pretty sure it was Swift that mentioned it in something, but interacting with every single um, YouTube comment 100% to build that community, to start and build that foundation 100%. Other than that, I don't really know. I mean, I've probably just forgotten, things from a year or 2 years ago. You would say consistency though, always. But yeah, I don't really have anything else. The big thing was community, man. That's like how I built. Like I first built my YouTube, and then we transitioned over to Twitch, and I've kept those foundational things. Like community is first, no matter what. Whether it's reading chat, interacting with every YouTube comment, replying to every single Twitter DM, replying to every single Discord ping. Communities first, 100%.
Now, obviously, man, you talked about the hard work that you did earlier. What do you feel like was your big break? Did you get like a big break from it? I know a lot of people talk about like someone helped them get their first big break when it comes to content creation. It's obviously not an easy thing, and a lot of people talk about when their first big break was. Was there anybody that gave you a big break, or what was like your first like big break that you really got? Whether it was a YouTube video or it was a stream or something like that, or even a shout out on Twitter from someone.
Yeah, so there's of course the first, like I mentioned earlier, like the first video that did decent, like, and I say a few hundred views, which was more than I normally got, was in like Most Feared in Madden 22. And then I would say the two biggest things that probably happened, one of my first streams in early January. Sorry, it was probably my seventh or eighth stream live. Gutfox traded me with like 1,000 people, and he was someone I 100% looked up to. We make sort of the same content, especially on YouTube, you would say. He rated me with 1,000 people, and that was really, I mean, that catapulted, everything I would say on Twitch. And then I think CC, when I had like the first 99 overall team in Madden 22, CC did an entire video around my squad and gave me a shout out in like March or something, and I gained like 1,000 or 2,000 subscribers in one day back in the spring of Madden 22. So that'd probably be the three things that helped me a ton, 100%.
Now when it comes to big raids like that on Twitch, obviously, I heard this saying like if you can just get one person from a raid, then it's a success.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there's a number one thing that you can really do to try to get people from raids to stay and be a part of your community? Like, do you think there's one key that like definitely guarantees that you're gonna be able to bring someone back, or is it just you kind of try to do these key points, try your best, and if they're gonna come back, they'll come back.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really say there's anything I focus on when I get a big raid or something. I mean, I think we all, when you get raided, you all kind of like get a perked up energy, for the next like 30 or so minutes. Um, yeah, I wouldn't really say there's anything I like focus on or overdo. Just be yourself. If you're a good content creator, when someone raids you and they'll hang around, if they enjoy you for you. I wouldn't really say like don't. I mean, the last thing you want to do is like be someone that you aren't when someone raids you, because then when they come back, they'll be like, well, who, what are we doing now? So I really just say be yourself. Don't really change too much about your stream or something when someone raids you. So you'll get an unrealistic experience of what your stream and what you are actually. Now that you answered, I asked that.
Now one fun little thing about you is that you are a Kansas City Chiefs fan, but you live in California.
Yeah.
How did that happen? How did you become a Kansas City fan living in California?
So I'm second generation. My dad was originally Los Angeles Raiders fan back in the 70s and the 80s, when he was growing up, and his favorite player was Marcus Allen. Marcus Allen had the whole thing with Bo Jackson, and he got traded to the Kansas City Chiefs, and then my dad became a Chiefs fan. Followed Marcus Allen, and I'm the oldest of my two siblings, so yeah, I became a Chiefs fan off the back of my dad when I was younger. So that's how I'm a Chiefs fan. I always say second generation. So
I like that though. I like that. That's cool kind of hearing that story. I've always wondered that. I knew you were a Kansas City fan, but you lived in Cali, and I didn't
yeah,
know necessarily if you guys had like moved there or if you lived there your
I've
whole
been
life. That's
same
cool.
spot most of my life. For the most part, you know this. I'm anti-California. I don't like California teams at all. The sports culture in California is terrible. Like I'm UCLA. That's my college team. That's where my uncle played football at. That's where the UCLA comes from. But for the most part, like sports teams, professional sports teams in California, like I'm anti. Like I want them to lose. I'm a hater. I'm a professional hater when it comes to the Lakers. Clippers are actually my team now, with Russ on them. But yeah, California sports culture is really really bad in my opinion. So
Yeah. You know what? That's the one nice thing about our friendship is that you hate the Lakers and I love the Lakers.
yeah,
So,
and
all right.
my dad's a huge Lakers fan, but like I'm not afraid to say it. Like I want them to lose. I like LeBron, but like I want the Lakers to lose because I hate seeing all these plastic bandwagon only will support and watch the games when they're title, like that's literally LA sports. If you are not title contenders, they do not care about you. Even look at the Dodgers. The Dodgers this year were the second seed in the MLB, but no one really cared about the Dodgers, at least from my friend group, that much because they weren't really title contenders. They were good. They weren't title contenders though. Yeah, no one really cares about them. Just crazy to say.
Well, man, one last question before I let you get out of here. Um, if there's one tip that you can give out there to people as a content creator, what are you going to give one piece of advice, right? Someone asked you today, they're starting out in content creation. One piece of advice that you can give them that you feel like is going to be the biggest key for them starting out. What are you going to give them? You got one piece of advice that you can give them.
Don't expect to make money for a good amount of time. It's not going to happen. Don't go into it. You never go into content creation, especially if you're going into a sports game. You're never going into content creation expecting that's where you're going to make a lot of money. Like that's where you're going to get rich. It's just not a thing. You do it because you love content creation, you love playing the game, you love building community, you love editing, you love whatever you enjoy about content creation. Don't go into it expecting to make money. Straight up, you're not. I mean, I didn't make. It took me a year and a half really to start making real money off of content creation, and that's even short. For a lot of people, it might take 3, 4, 5 years for them to see like that first. I would say like livable, like they can live off of the content creation earnings they have. But yeah, don't go into it. I'm expecting to make a lot of money.
I like that, man. Yeah,
100%.
if you're gonna do this, you gotta please, guys, make sure that you have the love for it. If you don't have the love
You
for
have
it,
to, yeah. The niche you choose also, like, to piggyback, the niche you choose, you have to love it because you are going to be in that niche, creating content for that niche for you never know how long. Like for me, Madden Ultimate Team, like, hey, if this was successful, I'm doing this for the next 30 years. So, like when you choose that niche, not you don't choose, like you'd always switch, but when you're going into content creation, you got to know like you have to love it because it's going to be a grind. You're not going to make a lot of money. You're not going to get views for the first few months, no matter what, for the most part. Yeah, that's what I would say.
yeah, guys, being it for the love of it. If you're doing content creation and trying to make a quick buck, you're in the wrong business and you're not gonna have any success. And viewers can see straight through that, and they can
Yeah.
tell that you're only there for the money. You're not there for the love of it. So if you're getting into this and you're listening to this, or your experience with this, just remember, always keep on to that love for it. And if you feel that love start to slip away, then take a step back and kind of reevaluate things, because there's no reason to force yourself to do something that you don't love. That's just my opinion. Do it if you love it, and if you don't love it, don't don't put the time and energy you need into it to
Don't
try to
force
make a
it.
quick buck. Don't force it. Don't force it into content creation if you don't truly love it. You got to have the true love for it if you're going to do this, and be in it for the long call, because it is not an easy road to the top. It never will be easy, never has been easy. There's no secret formula, there's no secret algorithm that you can magically crack overnight to hit 3 million followers. You gotta love it. You gotta be willing to put the time into it. You just truly got to be in it for the long haul if you want to have any sort of success with this. So that has been another episode of the Rowdy Hour, and we will catch you in the next episode, episode 3, next Monday. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, you're beautiful, you're one of a kind. Stay yourself, and every day you wake up is a good day. Peace out, y'all.